Welcome to Africa News Corner. We say it the way it is. In a recent warning, the U.S. expressed concerns over Israel's potential all-out assault on Rafah, Gaza, suggesting it might inadvertently empower Hamas. President Joe Biden has threatened to pause additional offensive military aid to Israel, emphasizing the risk of high civilian casualties and worsening the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. This stance includes holding up shipments of large bombs and other military equipment. Talks in Cairo for a ceasefire continue without success. Biden insists on protecting civilian lives, while Israeli forces have prepared for possible solo action, despite the U.S. pause in arms shipments. Over 80,000 people have fled Rafah and Gaza amid ongoing Israeli military operations and a blockade on aid, causing severe shortages of food and fuel. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu has dismissed U.S. threats to halt some military supplies, insisting on the necessity of defeating Hamas in Rafah despite international warnings of potential mass civilian casualties. The UN and aid agencies report dire conditions on the ground as hostilities intensify. Nigerian journalist Daniel Ojukwu was detained without charge, escalating concerns about press freedom in Nigeria. His arrest follows his reporting on governmental corruption and has sparked outcry from media and advocacy groups, emphasizing the increasingly repressive environment for journalists in Nigeria. Advocates are calling for his release and an end to the intimidation of journalists investigating government activities. A Boeing 737-300 operated by Air Senegal crashed during takeoff at Senegal's Blaise Diagne International Airport, injuring 11 people, some critically. The flight had been destined for Bamako, Mali. Stormy Daniels testified in Donald Trump's hush money trial, denying allegations of fabricating a sexual affair with him to profit from merchandise sales. Trump faces 34 felony counts related to concealing hush money payments. Chad's interim president Mahamat Idris Deby was declared the winner of the May 6th presidential election with over 61% of the vote, amidst allegations of vote rigging by opposition parties. Tensions are high in N'Djamena, with heavy security presence as the main challenger. Success Masra, who garnered 18.53%, disputed the results and called for peaceful mobilization against electoral theft. The situation remains uncertain as international observers closely watch the developments. Gruesome testimony has detailed a horrific massacre in Darfur, Sudan, where civilians, including children, were killed as they tried to flee ethnic violence in El Geneina last June. Human Rights Watch has compiled 221 witness statements highlighting a year-long campaign of ethnic cleansing by the Arab-led Rapid Support Forces, RSF, against the non-Arab Masalit tribe. The report calls for an urgent arms embargo, a robust police mission in Darfur, and sanctions against RSF commanders responsible for the atrocities, as fears grow of a potential massacre in the city of El Fasher. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle arrived in Nigeria for a 72-hour tour to promote the Invictus Games. Their visit, at the invitation of the Chief of Defense Staff, will focus on interacting with wounded soldiers and their families. Scheduled engagements include meetings with officials and visits to military hospitals in Abuja and Kaduna. This marks their first visit to Nigeria together. The Federal High Court in Abuja strongly criticized former Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello for attempting to derail his criminal case with the EFCC, emphasizing his disrespect for the court. The court reiterated the order for Bello's arrest and emphasized the seriousness of the charges against him.